off in the EBL, and then I finally was able to crack into the BBL. I think it was 2007 or 8 with Guildford.
Yeah.
But I started off in the EBL with Teesside. We dominated that league, myself and Ralph Bucci, and our coach was Tony Hansen. We had Jason Swain, a couple other players, but so it did real well there, and then was finally able to. It was a grind to get up to the BBL.
Yeah.
I guess it was that whole stigma with the EBL at the time, but cracked with Paul James gave me my shot with Guildford, and after that I was in the BBL the rest of my years.
What was it like facing Glasgow before you went up there to sign for them?
Did you say it again?
What was it like to play against Glasgow? Like, what sort of team were they like before you played?
I think it was it was always that place that was kind of far away. It was always a plane ride or a long bus ride. But they were, when Sterling was coaching before I got there, they were always organized. They always ran their sets real well, and it looked from the outside looking in, they had a very passionate fan base. They always played in an arena. I think at that time they were playing at where was it? I think
Kelvin
it was Brayhead at the time. No. At the time,
before then, yeah.
Yeah, it was at the mall.
Yeah.
So that was always kind of exciting. It was just a city at the time I had never really been to outside of playing in the basketball game. So from the outside looking in, it was a pretty interesting place.
Yeah, I think Sterling Davis had said before he signed you that he tried to sign you the year before that. I think
I think he had and it didn't work out. I think he had brought back the guard he had at the time, but I was definitely before the year before I was definitely interested. It just didn't work out at the time.
Yeah, fair enough. When he spoke to you, what sort of sold the club for you?
It was just, a new opportunity. When for Americans who are caught up in the basketball world, trying to pursue a career overseas, it's just another opportunity to continue playing basketball, something that you love to do. And I was excited. It was like I said, it was a place I had never been to, and I'm big on new experiences, and he pretty much sold me on the club. I knew it was a very professional setup, with himself and the Reeds, and it was good. I was actually very happy.
Yeah. Did you ever find it slightly strange that obviously Sterling was a player coach, but you were older than your head coach, or did that ever cross your mind?
No, because it's not like I was 20. I was only a year or two older. So
yeah.
And I just from the outside, I saw how he how he maneuvered, how he conducted himself, and like I said, they were always organized, and even when he was out on the court, it was always structure. It wasn't just a free for all. So
yeah.
I could see that he went about his duties in a very professional manner. Because sometimes our player coach role can get kind of muddled, and but he was always very professional with that.
Fair enough. Obviously, you were one of the more experienced heads when you first signed, and I think there were quite a few changes that year in 2010, 2011.
Yep.
I think that was the season that you guys you'd lost to the Sheffield Sharks in the quarters, I think, in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, memories. Now I haven't even thought about these years, and it's been a minute. But that season, it definitely was a lot of changes. He brought, myself, Mike Copeland, Bryce, Moses. It was a very interesting team. Like I said, we didn't, that year we didn't really achieve what we wanted to. We had a big lead going into that second leg against Sheffield, and then we kind of folded. So, that kind of ended in a disappointing manner. But, such is basketball.
Yeah. Do you remember, much from that game?
Yeah, we played real well the first leg. I remember down at Sheffield, and I remember the second leg at Kelvin Hall. we just played terrible. I think we were up probably like 15 or 20. And they just played better than us. They had that little guard, Ryan Patton at the time, and Tuck, and they just kind of took us apart. Looking back on it now, when you're more mature, you can look back on it and laugh. But when you're caught up in the moment, it's just something that you're like, wow, we played terrible. Just a disappointing loss when you played so well on the road, 2 nights before.
Yeah, I'm guessing the mood in the dressing room was pretty, bad after that game then.
Oh yeah, definitely. No one was happy. The Reeds weren't. Mr. and Mrs. Reed weren't happy. And obviously the fans weren't happy. Just very disappointed. And it wasn't. We didn't have a great record that season. So just a bad way to end the campaign.
Yeah. 2011, 2012, going into that one, I think you guys got to the semi-finals.
Yeah, we got to the we got myself and Mike Green and we had DeAndre. Good team. The reason I have a lot of love for the Reeds and for Sterling is because I got hurt that year and I was out for a while, and they usually you could get cut. They'll send you home, but they kept me around, and I kind of labored through the rest of that season. But that's why I appreciate my time there, because they did keep me around when they didn't have to, because it was a pretty serious ankle injury. So we were able to grind out some wins that year. Mike Green he was one of the best guards in the league that year. He had a great year. And, we did make it to the semifinals, but just came up against a better team in Leicester.
Yeah. With your ankle injury, how did that happen?
It happened down at Chester, that dump that they used to play in. I forget that it was a concrete floor. It just came down on someone's foot, but a pretty bad injury. And I was I think I was in the cast for like 2 weeks. And then, I probably didn't rehab it as good. I shouldn't have went in the cast. I probably should have went in a walking boot so I could keep some range of motion. But, it got stiff, and it took me a while to get back. But when I came back, I played pretty well, So I was, happy with my performance once I got my legs back under me.
Yeah. Have you had trouble with that ankle and other times?
Yeah, I think I had. I've always. I had ankle, injuries earlier in my career, but that was the first major ankle. Every ball player rolls your ankles. You may miss a day or two, but that was my first real serious ankle injury for a while. So it's just one of those things.
Did that play on your mind at all, having that serious ankle injury?
No, not really. Once I got back healthy, and then it didn't really get back 100% until the summertime, when I was able to kind of take some time off and really rehab it. But once I got back 100%, I was fine.
Fair enough. And I think that was it that season that you then you were made captain in 2012, 2013.
Yeah, well, I don't even remember whenever I was made captain. I knew I was always one of the older players on the team, so I just tried to conduct myself in a manner, just trying to be a leader. There were, because G had been there for years already, so but I was a little older than G, and just try to be a leader, try to be a mentor to some of the younger guys like Johnny, and I had knew Kieran the year after for some years before that for my time at Teesside, but just trying to be a leader, and the guys in the team know who the captain is. You don't necessarily have to name a captain.
Yeah.
Guys know who are the leaders of the team.
What was it like playing with those three guys you just mentioned? Because they're all still rock players at the moment.
It was great. Still talk to G. Now and then I'll shoot him a text on WhatsApp to say hello. I see him on Facebook, see that, he has a family and he's married with a family. Now it was good. A lot of love for G, a lot of love for Johnny. Met him when he was real young. a hardworking guy, great family, great sense of humor. Just became real close with those guys. And Karen, I had knew from my time at Teesside when he was at the academy there before he went over to America. Just all good Scottish players who work hard, really know how to grind, and it's good to see them still playing, on the premier team in Scotland.
Yeah, obviously Johnny was same position as you, and obviously quite a bit younger. Did you find yourself becoming a bit of like a mentor for him, trying to help him out at all?
I mean, I tried to, but I mean, he came from a great basketball family, so he really, he just loved to be around the game. I really didn't have to be his mentor. He kind of knew, from his dad and his brother. He already had that, so he was very mature for his age. And he worked extremely hard. He always came into practice and grinded every day. To come off the bench and not know how much you're going to play, it's a tough role. And he did it very well. And as the years progressed, and the time went on, he started to get more and more playing time, and he started to play very well. And it was good to see him still contributing in that setup.
Fair enough. And with Garth, was that the first time you'd known him at the Rocks? And
yes, that was just I think a couple of times when I was at Guilford, he played real well against us a couple of times. Always athletic, could really shoot. And then when I came up there, he just G's a funny guy, real quiet when you first meet him. He really doesn't talk that much, but we became real good friends. You go out to eat, go out occasionally. He even took me to some Celtic games, some Champions League games, because his wife's family real big Celtic fans. So we I think we went to the Barcelona game, we went to the Ajax game, a couple other games. Always, if he had a spare ticket, because I'm a big soccer fan, he would always, bring me along. So, definitely a guy who I consider a friend over there in the UK.
Yeah, nice. What was the rest of the team like? I'm guessing from the sounds of it, you're all pretty close. I guess you kind of have to be in basketball for it to work.
Yeah, I mean, you as anything, you always get along with, some teammates better than others, but it was it was good. No issues with anyone. There was rarely any issues in the team. Athletes are pretty competitive, especially in the team setting, so you're always going to have a little risk. But when it came to winning games, everybody was always on board, never any selfishness. Sterl was real big about team ball, so, it was always a team atmosphere. It was good. It was, listen, I have nothing bad to say about my time in, Glasgow, from my playing to the fans, to the owners, just the city in general. I tell people all the time, that's one of the places when you do go to the UK that you should try to visit.
Definitely. You were part of the team as well, obviously, that moved from Kelvin Hall to the Emirates, where they're based now.
Yeah.
What was it like making that transition?
It was good. It was, it was one of those things where it kind of brought a little energy to the club, and just trying to make the team more visible in Glasgow and in Scotland. But that was the best team in my 4 years at Glasgow, especially when we had Kieran. I mean, we were really rolling. When he signed on, we had myself, Donald, Kieran. We had a couple. I'm getting old now, so sometimes I feel like I'm getting senile. But we had a real good team that year. We had Big Jamie. But especially when we had Kieran before he left, we had we really put it together. Because we had everything. We had good guard play. We had experience with him and Sterling, and then we had a little bit of youth. Now, I kind of lost a little bit of it when he decided to go play overseas. But with those games when you actually play in an arena, it's like, if they could figure out a way to do that full time and attract a good crowd, I mean, there's no reason that they couldn't have one of the better clubs in Europe with that facility that they have. Very professional, right across the street from Celtic Park. I've always wondered why, there's never been a way to kind of link Celtic with the club or what. I don't know if they even want to, but just a great place to play.
Yeah. So that was your third season, I think, at the end of when you moved to the Emirates. You finished third that season. And lost in the quarters to Plymouth.
Yeah, disappointingly. I don't know how we, even without Kieran, we still had we had a good year, and very disappointing leg. We had the first leg at home, and we didn't play well, and I think we were down a couple buckets, and then we just didn't have enough on the road. But just a disappointment because we had a good team. We definitely had a good team. We definitely could have competed with Leicester and Newcastle that year, but just it didn't happen for us in the playoffs. We came up short, and came up small when it counted.
Yeah. That summer, I think you went back home for a bit just to think about whether you were going to continue in the sport or not. I think I read in the newspaper reports that Sterling was giving you time and just said, make your mind up if you like and see if you want to come back. What was going through your mind during that summer?
Well, just I got older. I was slowing down. When you're a point guard, there's really no place to hide. You got to kind of be one of the quicker players on the court. And I was, I felt myself slowing down a little bit and getting older, and trying to think about what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. But I did decide to come back, and I thought it was a good decision to come back. It didn't work out like how I thought it was going to work out. I ended up getting hurt midway through the year, and that was it for me. But definitely no regrets on trying to come back. I started off the year pretty good.
Yeah.
But my body just ended up breaking down, and nothing I could do about it. It was but I was just try to remain positive. I had a good career as far as enjoying my time over there, so I didn't regret anything. Mm-hmm. I was just disappointed that I wasn't able to finish out playing the way I wanted to, but that happens.
Yeah.
But and also just a disappointing year. We did, the team wasn't as good as we had hoped, as Sterling had hoped. The team we tried to build, but we did make it to the I think we made it to the trophy finals that year and lost. But that was a good that was we put on a good display for the fans up in Glasgow. We just came up short that game.
Yeah. Looking back over your 4 years, what would you say would be the highlight for yourself?
The highlights would be the people I met, my teammates, and not just my teammates up there, my family, and I say that strongly, my family, Creon Raftopoulos, the coach at Surrey, and his wife Cheryl, and his sons Kieran and Kalen. That all of that experience, because I still remain close with them, but just the fans, the Reeds, Sterling, Gareth, JB, the whole experience of living in Glasgow, just the warmness that the Glasgow people have, and the hardcore. The hardcore fans that we have, the fans who travel, the fans who are all, who are there through the highs and the lows. It's just all one great experience that, even though I didn't win as much as I wanted to, that, it's an experience that I wouldn't trade for anything.
Yeah. When you were living up here, did you live with any of the players at all, or were you in your own place?
Oh, no. It was always a situation where you live with another teammate. I lived with Bryce. I lived with Donald. I lived with Mike. I lived with who else did I live with? I lived when Ches was on the team for a little bit. Ches, and then I lived with Alex when he came in at the end of my fourth year.
Fair enough. Who was the best and worst out of them to live with?
They were all good. No problem. No issues with anyone. It was just, everybody was, pursuing that basketball dream. So, it was one of those things where, even if you do have issues, you make it work.
Fair enough. Do you keep in contact with any of the Rocks players? Obviously, you said earlier on that you keep in contact with Gareth and things, but any other ones?
I see some of the old teammates on Facebook. So most people are on some type of social media now. So
Yeah.
whenever I do see someone, if I haven't spoken in a while, I'll shoot them a message or they'll shoot me a message. I spoke to Donald maybe a couple months ago. I saw that he had signed with a team somewhere in Europe, so I was just wishing him luck. And I talked to Sterl last week, just to say hello, to catch up with him. Like I said, Gareth, whenever I see Johnny on Facebook, and other teammates. So anybody I see, because those are, so many good memories,
What was your time like living in Scotland as a whole? Obviously, you'd lived in England before, but not up in Scotland.
I would say my time it was great. I actually loved it. It was a good place to go. So, if you were one of those people who like to go out and have a good time, it was that type of place. If you just like to stay home and relax, it was a great place. I'm from a cold weather climate, so the weather was never any issue for me. And like I said, I love the people. It's a place that, whenever I do go back to Europe, if I do have time, it's a place that I would definitely go. I would bring someone to say, listen, we need to go up to Glasgow for a day just to see the city.
Yeah.
It's a place where, you see the passion in the city, especially, with the soccer, with the Rangers, Celtic dynamic, and then, some of those fans who do support the basketball team. It's just a great place, got a chance to go over to Edinburgh a couple times. So that was another nice city, up to Aberdeen. And then, and it's also a beautiful country, great people, very friendly people. So, I think those people, those fans understood that. I was very appreciative of my time there, and definitely the people that I met along the way.
Yeah. What was your relationship like with the fans when you were here?
Always. Great fans. They would let you know if they were type of fans that would let you know if you weren't playing well, but they were, very diehard supporters. From Kelvin Hall over to the Emirates, they supported the team, real well. They've seen the highs and lows, and they just want to win. They want to see a winning product. I'm glad to finally see that they beaten Newcastle for the first time in forever.
Yeah, it was 21 games, I think.
Yeah, because I think my second year with the Rocks, we beat them in like a cup competition, but they would usually beat us fast. He's done a great job up there, but it's good to see that they finally beat them. But you have a core group of fans who travel, who spend their hard-earned money traveling, supporting us. I don't want to just say one family's name because I don't want to miss anybody. But I would say there's a group of like 8 to 10 families who really do support the Rocks, at home and on the road, and I definitely appreciated that.
Yeah. After your time with the Rocks, you headed back home to Connecticut. Is that right?
Yep.
What did you end up doing after?
Well, I've been working. I got into some coaching. I was doing some coaching for a couple years, but I took a year off of that. But I've been working in the school system. Just when you kind of dedicated your life to one thing for so long, you just you have to hit the reset button. So, did that. So I'm working in the school system. Still trying to decide if I'm going to do some coaching and just living. I don't have a family, no kids, so just trying to enjoy life and enjoy my family, my sister and my mom, and that's it. I'm a kind of a low-key type of person, but it is good to be back home with my family.
Yeah, fair enough. When you say you're working in the school system, is that doing basketball then?
No, doing a little bit of teaching. At the time, I wasn't certified to teach, so still trying to get certified. So doing some substitute teaching, and I was coaching at a local university for a couple years. But then I coached at I coached at a local high school last year. So just coaching and teaching for the past couple years, trying to decide, trying to decide what kind of course I want to take with the rest of my life.
Fair enough. Have you found sort of the retirement phase from the sport?
Yeah, I think it's I don't really miss the game because I still watch it and stuff like that. And I knew my time was up. My body was broke down. So I think just trying to find the career path that you want to take, because you're still relatively young. You still, I was 38 when I was finished. So just trying to find the right path to take for really this next 25 years of your life. So, that's still trying to do that. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to end up doing. But, that's a daily thing that I go, that I'm doing.
Yeah, fair enough. How are your injuries doing these days? I think OD said your hip was a bit...
Yep. Injuries are okay. I'm eventually going to need... That's what ended up taking me out, having a bad hip. And then when I, so I deal with that. But it's nothing bad, It's, I'm blessed. That's one thing I'll say was, I got a chance. It's surprisingly, a lot of people ask me about, my experiences over in the UK, and I just, I was blessed to be able to travel and kind of see the world a little bit. So I have no complaints or anything like that. I'm just happy that I was able to have that experience because of horizons, just a better appreciation of things.
Yeah, definitely. In your time with the Rocks, who do you reckon was the best or the most talented player that you'd played alongside with?
The most talented, I'm trying to... Donald Rob, it was probably... Well, because Kieran's skill set, but he's big, so I can't give it to him, but he was one of them. But I would probably say Donald or Michael Green. Donald was super athletic, and he was still young at the time, so he had a lot of upside. But Michael was kind of seasoned, real strong guard, very smart, and a very hard nose. So between those two.
Fair enough. And who was your toughest opposition player that you'd played against, do you reckon?
And on the team or in the BBL in general?
BBL in general.
Well, man, you have a lot of players. I remember a good experience when I first went to Guilford. It was when they were playing in the ULEB Cup, so that was played against some good competition. But as a whole, there's a host of good players that came through. The BBL actually doesn't get the credit it deserves for, the players that come through here, because they kind of come through as a launching pad to the rest of their career.
Yeah.
Newcastle's always had, what was his name? He was the guard at Newcastle. Real good player when they were winning. I forgot his name. But Charles Smith was always... No, it wasn't Charles. There was another guard that they had. But Charles Smith was always good. Leicester had some good players. It's so many. Hopefully amongst them, I could kind of fit myself in there. Hopefully they'll say that about me. That I played pretty well.
When you're in the States, what do people say about the British basketball, and what do you say to them back?
Well, to be honest, they don't know about British basketball per se. They don't know that much about it. They don't know that much about anything, any of the leagues. So you got to kind of explain to them, the different levels. Obviously, when you get over to Spain and Greece and France, some of the leagues are slightly better. But I just let them know the competition is real good. And like we just spoke about, it's kind of a launching pad for some people for the rest of their careers.
Fair enough.
But it is a good level of basketball, and it's only getting better. It seems like you guys have a better social media presence. It looks very professional.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of the clubs are getting more professional with the way they run their things.
I suppose it's sort of catching up with some other sports, I guess.
Yes.
Especially when you look at, like, say, your Celtic across the road.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite football team or soccer team?
I'm a big Man U fan.
Yeah.
When I first came over there, at the time that was, it was all that was on TV. So, and I played soccer growing up, so I already had a love for it. So just kind of, just kind of watching them over the years, I've become a very passionate fan of Man U. And then, there's a new channel over here where they show soccer all the time, so
You get
it's
a bit
easy
more
to
access
follow
to
them.
it. Yeah. Nice.
Yes, definitely. A
Fair
lot
enough.
more than when I first started
Yeah.
going over there.
How did you get into basketball, first of all? Then, was that just through
Um,
school?
yeah, just growing up, everybody plays, different sports over here. It was just one of the sports I played, but it was just the sport when I got to my high school years that I ended up concentrating on.